Hey everyone, and welcome to another video. This time I'm going to do a inbox review. I haven't done one in a little while. I've had some new kits through relatively recently, and one or two I could probably still do with doing a review on, but others are pretty kind of common kits that I feel sure are quite easy to find other reviews of online, and so there's maybe not much point. I'll have another quick look through the reviews section over on ISM. As Lee said in the April news video, there's over 300 reviews on there now. So I'm going to have a look through. If I can't find a review on there of any kits that I've got, then I'll put them on a list and I'll get around to reviewing them at some point. The problem I had before was I used to film on my iPhone all the time and used to have to hold it, and so reviewing, especially a big kit, 'cause on the iPhone the video just sort of automatically zooms in because of the resolution it is. So, but with my iPad, I've got it set up here, and hopefully it's a wide enough angle that this is a relatively decent sized box and it's mostly in. So, and if I just tilt my head to the right, I can actually see the screen, make sure it's in focus and in shot. So I'm going to try this. If it doesn't work, then I'll have to try something else, but hopefully this means I can now do a hands-free, non-shaky inbox review for you. Anyway, kit in question, I assume you can see this, is the F-15E from Academy. It's the Seymour Johnson boxing. Basically, Seymour Johnson, I believe, is actually an airbase in the US, so I believe this is an basically it's a plane as it is based at Seymour Johnson Air Base. I don't know if there's any particular differences in that particular airbase. Anyway, let's have a quick look around the box. Lovely big photograph, box art, nicely detailed. The side has more photographs of the actual aircraft, so some good reference there. What do we get? Fully engraved panel lines with rivet details, highly detailed cockpit interior and landing gear, body parts with enhanced detail, optional position air intake ramps and canopy. That's a good note. You can hopefully see it in this one. Is that when the aircraft are on the ground, there's actually quite a pronounced droop in the air intakes. You can see this here because the US insignia is actually partially hidden, which it normally wouldn't be when the aircraft's on the ground. And quite a lot of F-15 kits, I believe, is one of the kind of issues that basically a lot of them don't mould this. So you can, if it's on the ground, you can have your air intakes drooped. We get various camera pods and things. We get AIM 120s, AIM 9s, GBU 31s, GBU 12s, and 2 pilots. Right, let's have a look inside. What I'm going to do is take it out of the way and do a Liam Paul style. I'll look at individual sprues at once. Keep the bags maybe though. Okay, so in this first bag, what have we got? The upper and lower fuselage. So it seems to be quite a common thing with modern jets, so I've seen. I've not done very many of them over the years. Certainly not in 48 scale. But I noticed this having looked through my F-18 kit and the F-16 kit I've got as well, that the fuselage has, instead of being in traditional left and right, they're top and bottom. Whether this, presumably this kind of helps eliminate some of the seams and stuff, because obviously any seams you're going to get along the edge of here are going to be hidden when you mount the wings, and the same when you mount the tailplanes and things. So we'll see how that goes. There's no rivet detail, but being a modern jet, I'm still not convinced how much modern jets are really riveted together, but there we go. Nicely recessed panel lines though, nicely moulded, although it does seem that there's supposed to be kind of circular areas here which are A couple of little rough bumps that could do with being a wee bit sanded out. No flash, as Lee would say, a little bit burring in places though. A little bit of dirt there, probably a bit of mold release. Wheel wells, main gear wheel wells. Where are we? Up here. A little bit of ribbing detail, but that's about it. But they're not very big, and they're kind of right under. And there'll be ordnance racks here and stuff. So it's a nice little grill detail in there. Tail planes are all molded in one piece each, so that's the two twin tail planes. That's quite a nice touch. So you're not going to get any seams on those. They're already molded. The bulges, I believe these are part of the fuel tanks and things. They're quite distinctive bulges underneath. They're molded nicely, but the edges are a bit. You can maybe see this here. The edges are a little bit rough, not particularly well molded on the edge, but a little bit of a run with the sander and things, and that should probably even up quite nicely. Clear parts, I'll not bother getting them out the sprue. A little bit of distortion, but that could be partly the plastic bag, but they seem nice and clear. There's almost a slight deformity along the edge of the canopy there. Actually, it's not entirely straight, and there's big seams, so that'll need cleaned up. It's a bit of a pain, because I actually don't have anything suitable to clean that up with. There we go. Ow. That was me just stabbing myself, by the way. Remember, kids, don't stab yourself with knives. Yeah, look at that. There we go. Injuries live on camera. Okay, so in this bag we've got 2 sprues. That really hurt. This looks like the rear of the cockpit area where the canopy is going to attach to, and the air brake is going to attach to. We've got the canopy framing, which is nicely molded, a bit of raised rivet detail on there. An ordnance pylon, I think this is the main central pylon. Intake trunking, nose wheel and nose wheel gear strut. Quite nice, quite simple, nicely molded, but a little bit simple. Could probably do with having a brake line stuck on there and things. The wheel molded as one, but no tread pattern. Main gear legs here, again, ejector pin mark right in the middle, which looks quite deep, so it'll need filled rather than just sanded out. And again, could do some brake line detail maybe or something. This is interesting. There seems to be two sets of panels here. So pilots and then rear guys. Now I believe that this is probably due to the fact that these parts are not type specific. As in, this is an F-15E Strike Eagle that's in this kit, or that the boxing's for, but these could well be from the F-15A, for example, the F-15B, because these are a lot more analog flight instruments and stuff, whereas these ones have got your multifunction displays, which is a much more modern layout. So I imagine that's probably the ones we're going to be using. Nice recess detail and things though. I don't know if you can see that. On that one. What time are we at? Oh geez, 9 minutes already. Right, I'll try and kind of fire through this. Various other parts, lantern pod, bit big pylons, more slightly different layout of instrument panels here. Nice raised detail. So I believe looking at the decal sheet, there were some decals to stick on there, which is quite nice. Parts for the cockpit, pedals. These are those main runners that go along the fuselage edge for the fuselage weapon stations. One of your camera pod things, which has got a movable TV head in it, which is camera head in it, which is quite nice. Right, and I won't stab myself this time. Right. So, what we've got here, we've got the intakes and the intakes parts for the exhaust nozzle, main wheels, nice hub detail, but again flat, no tread pattern at all. So yeah, that might. I don't really want to spend any more money on it, so I'll probably just deal with it. But so I think that's so far that's maybe the one thing that this kit could possibly do with is maybe some resin wheels, just for that added detail. These two sprues are identical. Oh no, I lie. There's actually wheels on this one as well. I never noticed that before, and they do have tread pattern on them. Whether they're type specific and I have to use the other ones, I don't know. Bombs, more targeting pod things, drop tank. Pilot, a bit softly molded, but with a coat of paint and stuff, quite nice. Ejector seat will probably do for the scale. Some JDAMs, missiles, and various fins and things for the missiles, and more pylons. As I said, that's two identical sprues, so I'm not bothered showing you the other one. Second to last bag. This one has the wing section in it. Nicely molded, no flash. The other intakes, presumably these are the raised ones. More pylons, more little vanes and things. The wings are nicely molded. The wingspan on this thing's not huge actually, but it's because it's got a wide body. The actual wings are not that big, kind of short and stubby. Some other small parts. Right, here we go is the nose and another drop tank and the tail planes. So what we got, possibly some kind of access panels, gear doors, intake scoops, air brake. There's no detail on the inside of the air brake though, so if you wanted to have that open, by the looks of it, unless there's a part somewhere that sticks on there, it looks like that is going to be looks like that's going to be a bit bland. I think I'll probably have it down. Tailplane's got some nice detail on them. More parts for the engines and the nose. Nice detail. Plastic's a bit scuffed on there. A few scratches. It's quite scratched actually. Must have been rubbing against something in the bag. There's some scratching on the plastic here. There's no sidewall detail, but I don't know how important that'll be, because on these things there doesn't tend to be very much actually, because all the controls are on a console, in front into your side. So I don't know how. We'll have to wait until that gets up. And yet another instrument panel. So that's about 4 instrument panels for this thing. So I'll have to make sure I use the right one. And the last bag is more weapons, so more bombs. Make sure you're in focus. AIM-120s, I think, Sidewinders, AIM-9s, laser guided bombs here, another camera pod, all separate fins and things. But the actual missiles themselves are actually molded. The bombs are in two halves, but actually the missiles are one piece, which is nice to see, with just stick-on fins. Lots of little bits to cut out, but it shouldn't be too bad. Everything's nicely molded. Quite a few little details. Quite like the one-piece molded seeker heads for the laser guided bomb. That's quite cool. What else have we got in the box? Decal sheet. In just an open bag, which is nice. Just a little sleeve. That's quite nice to see. Kind of glossy. They all look like they were in register. The only one I wasn't sure about are these ones here. These silver ones. The dots seem to be a little bit of shifted from the silver plate behind it, but whether that's kind of meant to be like that or not, I don't know. And it's kind of hard to tell because actually the rest of the sheet all seems to be in register. So the only thing I can think of is that for some reason something slipped there, or it's intentional. Not the most colourful of colour schemes. It's just pretty much grey all over with a slightly different tone grey for the nose cone. A few simple colour badges here and tail flash. Kind of quite nice to see one that's not all gaudy. I've actually got quite a kind of bright decal scheme for the F-18 in mind. The F-16 I've got is one of the aggressor ones from the Edward Top Falcon set. So it's got the brightly painted camouflage and stuff. Instruction sheet has callouts for Humbrol, both enamel and acrylic. It has guns, both Mr. Colour and Aqueous Hobby Colour. It has Life Colour colours. It has testers, enamel and acrylic. It has Revell enamel and acrylic. It has Vallejo Model Colour and Model Air. So lots of choice. It basically just gives you a list of colours and the equivalent numbers for lots of them. So I'll be using Vallejo. I already have Vallejo 50. I don't have 52, but I've got one that's pretty much close enough, so that'll do me, save me buying another single pot of paint just for this. Yeah, so here's your option for your drooped or your non-drooped air intakes. There's about 5 parts per ejection seat. It's a bit of a funny photo to look at, but there's actually a reference photo there for where part K18 goes, which is a little kind of pitot tube thing. There's again there's a little photograph here to show you the angle at which a part needs to be attached to the nose gear leg. So looks like the actual plane itself builds up in about 11 steps. Then steps 12 to 16 basically deal with all the ordnance and all the various pods which go on there. Parts locating diagram on the rear, which is quite nice. The final thing of any note which is in here is basically the decal and painting guide, which is in just black and white. So you've basically got, it's not got many colours, the numbers of the colours. So we're number 12 all over. Sorry, we're number 12 for the nose cone, which is basically a light grey. 10 and 11 are clear red and clear blue for the thingies. But I think this is basically just 6. So silver for the underside for the heated areas. It adds a little bit of interest. I won't get any alclad for that, but I might use. I've got some Vallejo steel. I might use that for that. So yeah, it's basically just saying that it's the same shade of grey all over. Number 12, what's that? FS3136118 or Vallejo 52. Yep, and then the mounting positions for the your choice of where you mount your ordnance. Don't know which I'll do yet. So, that's that. This will be posted up on YouTube and on ISM. 21 minutes, not too shabby. Hopefully it was interesting. Hopefully you can see it all right. Give me a shout. Let me know whether this camera angle works for you, because actually, if it does, then I can potentially use this to show you builds a little bit better and things. So you know, because just by leaning back a little bit, I can see the screen. Make sure you're in focus on your screen. You can see most of the desk, and maybe if that works, then maybe the quality of my videos will increase somewhat. But that's it for now. Thanks for watching. Let me know if the camera angle and whatnot works for you guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.